A special thank you to my incredible patrons who have continued to provide support despite my having taken much longer than usual to publish a campaign story. If you are not yet a patron and are an enjoyer of this series, I wish to also thank you for your continued support. Warning. Curse of Strahd. Spoilers ahead. We rejoin Xaeli the Ranger, Nala the Druid, Barakas the Rogue, Torrin the Paladin, Zandala, Boblia, Tatiana, Casimir, Esmeralda, and Novril as the trail through the thick woods leads to a hill covered with dead grass and large black rocks. Dark, ominous clouds gather high above, and a single bolt of lightning strikes the hilltop. West of the hill, the land, the woods, and the sky vanish behind a towering wall of fog.
Well, this is bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Same.
Barakas smells some food.
Are you sure there's any food here, Barakas?
Barakas will sneak off to find the food. Barakas thinks it's over there.
Why are the stones slimy?
Probably the constant exposure to moisture.
Why are they black? Are they special stones?
It's difficult to say for certain.
Boring.
Xaeli walks up the hill just far enough to see a tree against the dark clouds. The top of the hill is a wide ring of black boulders that collectively form a makeshift wall enclosing a field of dead grass. Lightning infrequently strikes the edge of the ring and illuminates the ghastly, 50-foot-tall tree that seems to be waiting. She squints and determines the tree is likely animated, but the plant itself is long dead. The tree emits a low but consistent green glow.
So do we kill the tree with fire?
A druid similar to the one battled at the winery jumps out from behind a boulder, shrieks at Barakas, and attacks! Ouch! The druid's scream echoes throughout the hill, causing distant shapes to appear. You guys! It's an ambush! Casimir tosses a ball of flame at the offending druid as opposing reinforcements swarm down the hill. Barakas hurls himself atop the druid and tries to bite its neck. He gets a mouthful of dirt for his trouble. Bleh! Bad druid! Nala calls an ice storm down on the reinforcements, both slowing and badly wounding many of them. Xaeli casts Hunter's Mark on the druid in front of Barakas before sending 2 arrows straight into the druid's chest. The druid stabs Barakas as a nearby ally enters a slobbering, reckless frenzy and hurls itself at Xaeli. Boblia steps in to defend Xaeli and is knocked about for her trouble. Esmeralda and Torrin move in to defend Boblia, while Zandala and Casimir use firebolts to scald the druid attacking Barakas. Barakas draws his rapier and hurls himself upon the bloody druid, driving his rapier through her neck. Nala polymorphs herself into a Tyrannosaurus Rex and roars. The remaining attackers flee and vanish into the forest. Barakas kneels down to the druid he killed and cuts off her 8 fingers. Barakas will wear your intestines like jewelry. Alas, Barakas fumbles his rapier and ruptures the intestines. This guy had to go to the bathroom. Barakas will take some of this for Barakas' arrows. Barakas deliberately tramples the druid's open abdomen and begins walking back towards the group. Hey, you guys! Barakas got 1 and 8 fingers, and Barakas poisoned Barakas' arrows more. That is all.
Nala, lower your head.
Nala dips her giant reptilian head, and Xaeli scrambles up.
Riding to freedom. And war!
They have come, Bucephalus, but they know not what they found here. The far wall grants a window into my old home. I wonder.
Is that Strahd hiding up in the air?
It looks like him.
Well, if he's come to talk we can pick up bodies from the battlefield and throw them at him.
One of the passives Nala has gained from her new armor is the ability to communicate via telepathy out to 5 feet while she is transformed. Strahd is very high overhead, sitting atop his nightmare steed, Bucephalus. Specifically, he is just outside longbow range. To the party's surprise, Strahd chooses not to retaliate for his druidic servants, but instead remains almost completely motionless.
I fart in his general direction.
Stupid idiot. What a creeper.
He's so dumb.
He likes to watch.
I don't think he has a lot better to do.
Maybe you shouldn't have made Barovia so f***ing sad.
Yeah, oh boo-hoo, nobody likes me. I don't have anything to do. Well, whose f***ing fault is that?
Xaeli and Nala walk up the hill to the large ring of boulders and examine the huge tree within.
Should we kill the tree with fire? Or just attack it?
Seems reasonable.
Barakas says fire is always the answer.
Plus it is a blight tree.
Forward, noble steed.
You know what? That's fine. I can step farther right now. Blightbane, is fire the best way to handle this? Or any actual helpful advice?
Fire is always Barakas' answer. Barakas is confident.
The response was, use all the fury we can muster. So I'm just going to assume that means beat it up with fire.
Fire and fury.
Cool.
The rest of the group has lingered at the bottom of the large hill for some time. Upon noticing Xaeli and Nala's preparedness to attack the tree, they begin to climb the long trail up. Barakas moves himself to the rear of the group. It's unclear what he's doing back there, but I guess he knows what he's doing. From a distance, Xaeli examines the glowing, blighted tree in an effort to gain an insight. She notices a dark, viscid substance oozing from its trunk.
Well, that's confusing.
Do we want to move full speed ahead or wait for the others to catch up?
Ooh. Let's wait a moment for them to catch up before we run in. Otherwise, we might get into the thick of things and be in trouble.
Oh, right.
While waiting for the others to catch up, Xaeli begins surveying the surrounded area, also suspicious of hidden combatants. Strahd, on his fiery horse, is clearly inching closer to the party. Xaeli spins around and notices a small group approaching the party's rear from the path leading out from Yester Hill. Several are cloaked in flowing robes, while others bear an assortment of weapons.
Hey, be conscious of Idiot Face there and people behind you.
Can you be more specific?
Which part?
Who's the idiot?
The guy who was doing fishing competitions with us and stuff.
He's literally here. I don't think saying his name matters. Barakas understands.
The capri pants wearer.
The fashion loser.
Nala turns towards Strahd and looses a bellowing roar that ends in a slight cough. Strahd barely reacts, but it's presumably because he's several hundred feet high and doesn't understand the concept of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Xaeli, tell him that was dinosaur for.
She says you're a...
Perfect.
Strahd does not rise to the insult and shifts his gaze to the newcomers quickly making their way towards the main group.
That's fine. I know he's intimidated in his heart.
I knew it would come to this. I will show them the consequence for disobedience. Xaeli remains focused on Strahd and keeps an arrow handy in case the latter comes within range. The blight tree takes notice of Nala's roar and shrieks with outrage. Nala responds so aggressively that the tree momentarily goes silent. Xaeli casts lightning arrow on herself and opens fire on the blight tree. It has begun. The blight tree's bark sizzles as the lightning strikes it, but it seems unfazed. The blight tree seemingly uproots itself and rushes towards Nala.
There they are! It looks like the druid and the ranger are busy fighting far from their friends. Kill the paladin and rogue first.
You heard her. Charge.
Strahd's here.
We'll go in quietly. We'll leave Versa if he actually gets involved on account of his playthings.
For the glory of Lord Strahd.
And then we need to figure out what to do with you, Versa.
The blight tree rakes Nala with its branches and tries to hurl Xaeli from her perch on Nala's back. Xaeli dodges the tree but is caught by the roots that leap up and pull her to the ground. The tree then bites into Nala's body and digs deep with its wooden fangs. Nala is forced out of her Tyrannosaurus form and into the grasping roots below.
Hey Xaeli, do you want to be a fire elemental?
Sure.
Nala calls the elements and polymorphs Xaeli into a raging fire elemental. She then uses beast form to transform herself into a dragonfly and slips the grasping roots as she searches for a more advantageous footing. The area surrounding the main group erupts with skeletons and several crossbow bolts fly at them. Casimir is the only one hit, but the last assailant turns and aims upwards, hitting Strahd. Strahd pulls the crossbow bolt from his chest, snaps it, examines the hole in his clothes, and his eyes glow with rage.
That's what he gets for being a spectator.
His own dude's shooting him.
Xaeli burns away her restraints and mauls the blight tree. The sickening burning smell is reminiscent of blood, which Xaeli communicates to Nala.
I wonder if I can fly as a fire elemental.
Xaeli tries to leap into the air and returns to the ground.
So I'm just a walking fire elemental?
Maybe you're like a Yuan Ti with the snaky body that goes down to the ground.
I'm just a fire person?
I guess. No, you've got legs. You're fine.
Don't worry about me, I'm just on fire.
Strahd descends on his fiery horse, strikes his assailant, and sneers. Friends of yours?
Are they?
I think he's asking. He's just not good at it.
I know he's asking. I'm just not aware they're friends of ours.
Did he see them summon skeletons to swarm the party?
That was the people back behind the skeletons.
Oh, these are separate?
Up to this point, I was assuming they were his, so I don't know.
If he wants to have fun trampling them, he can do that. Most work he's done in the last month, I'm sure. Torrin, do you need help or are you good?
I think we got it. Nala causes the ground beneath the blight tree to heave as rock shards erupt from the earth. The shards tear into the tree, causing it to shriek and retaliate against Nala and Xaeli. Nala dodges away from the branches, but Xaeli is struck. Strahd's assailant tries to escape, but Strahd holds him fast, a look of boredom on his face. Surrounded by hostile skeletons, Casimir and Barakas are bloodied as the party struggles to deal with the sheer number of combatants. Black magic flows into the ground from a nearby spellcaster, threatening a circle of death upon the main group. Casimir is immediately downed while Esmeralda, Tatiana, and Torrin are bloodied. A second spellcaster copies the first and more death magic assaults the group. Barakas is downed, Tatiana is downed, Esmeralda is downed, Casimir is on the brink of death, and Torrin is barely standing. No! You will not take her from me! You have no right! She'll die screaming, just like you will. Torrin completely heals Tatiana with lay on hands. Hold on, Barakas, I'll figure out something. Screaming, was it? Nala, help please.
Do you want healing or dead skeletons?
Healing. Barakas is down, Casimir is down, the rest of us may soon follow.
Sorry, Xaeli, I think I've got to drop your fire elemental thing.
I got you.
Novril hastens over to Casimir and uses a strange-looking medical kit. Zandala quickens her spellcasting pace and sends a pair of fireballs at the grouped spellcasters, who are badly singed by her efforts. Strahd suddenly rockets upwards on his fiery horse, drops his grappled target, and watches as the assassin plummets to the ground with a sickening crunch.
And he explodes into a jelly pile.
The assailant barely survives the fall. With a disdainful look, Strahd rolls off his horse in midair and falls to the ground. He lands directly atop his former assailant and outright kills the latter.
He's so f***ing extra. Torrin, do you still need healing or do you want me to smack the wizards in the face? It was the wizards doing that, right?
Barakas and Casimir are still down. Help!
Healing it is then. Who needs it more?
Barakas isn't stable.
But the elf is?
Novril stabilized him.
So he's good? Okay.
Barakas is dreaming about roast chicken.
He's so far away. Why, Barakas?
Nala moves away from the blight tree. It sees an opportunity and grapples her with twisted, knotted roots. Luckily, Casimir powers through his wounds and barely manages to stand.
This tree is f***ing bullshit.
I thought I was dead. Sure felt like it.
Now he feels great. Super positive about life.
The skeletons ignore Barakas' limp body as they proceed to attack the main group. As a result, Zandala is bloodied. The blight tree savagely attacks Xaeli and Nala, bloodying Nala and nearly causing her to drop concentration on Xaeli's fire form. In an effort to allay the spells directed at their companions, a spellcaster runs towards Strahd and tries to blight him. She appears horrified to discover the spell has no effect.
Wait, so everyone's fighting everyone? What is happening?
Why do they use necrotic damage against a vampire? Do they not know?
They know enough to know he's an enemy, but not that he's a vampire?
Well, he attacked one of the people they came with. I'm not sure why they're firing at each other.
As if on cue, more crossbow bolts fly at Strahd. The crossbowmen try again to hide behind the boulders as Strahd's wrath visibly rises. Barakas musters his might, pulls back from death's door, and rises. Barakas was being attacked by a hungry roast chicken. Barakas runs away. Where are you going to run? Barakas will figure that out. Barakas runs a short distance from the group and readies his short bow. The main party is stable and are making quick work of the remaining skeletons. Xaeli's fire form sears the blight tree again, but Nala grows discouraged.
It doesn't seem like we're even hurting the tree. I can't get free of these f***ing roots and my health is
Nala drops Xaeli's polymorph and turns herself into a fire elemental to escape the blight tree's grasping roots. Nala moves out of range and the tree swipes her as a parting gift. In a concerted effort to help the main group, Nala churns her fiery form downhill as quickly as she can. In her absence, the tree turns its full focus on Xaeli and pummels her with 4 direct attacks that leave her very injured.
sake.
Toxic fog clouds roll over the main party and cause staggering damage. Esmeralda is downed. Nala sprints forwards in her fire elemental form, trying to reach the group in time. Torrin tries to reach Esmeralda to use Lay on Hands, but is downed. Casimir is downed. Novril is downed. Tatiana and Zendala are downed and at death's door. Esmeralda breathes a shuddering final gasp and dies.
Right off. I can't f***ing believe this.
If you're downed, can you still be willing?
I'm not sure how that's gonna help us right now.
We need to get the out of here.
Xaeli frantically digs through her bag of holding.
Barakas, do you still have your fan?
Why does Xaeli ask?
You need to use it on the cloud.
Xaeli! The fan is too small to use on the cloud. The cloud is even bigger than the roast chicken of Barakas' dreams.
God damn it, Barakas, use the f***ing fan.
Barakas pulls out his little fan with a cat on it and frantically waves it at the giant death cloud. To almost everyone's surprise, a huge gust of wind erupts from the fan, pushes the cloud off the main party, and grants precious seconds to choose who lives or dies. Barakas didn't know you could do that. Good kitty. Xaeli finally locates the object she sought, screams a command word, and